Oh my! A bye week for the Meatlocker, and we are back. That's right. The bye week is over.
Recharged, are we?
Oh, yes, we are, man.
After that open, I'm done.
I got to think about every kind of sound I can make to make Jaws laugh.
It doesn't take much. Not what comes out of your mouth.
Paul and I were talking about opening for games. You're on television, and you got. We never opened like that.
But I might try this on Saturday. That'd be a good way to sell a bad game.
You get people excited.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's about.
Well, I'm excited right now. I'm excited.
I am too. Well, the boys are
Wait,
back.
you have the Baylor game this week, right? Maybe you ought to open that way.
Well, I'm just saying, you got to take a bad game, Jaws, and you got to sell it.
You got to sell it.
You got to
Get
sell
like
it.
a Matt Rule head and start screaming at it. So we had a bye week last week. We are back now as we look ahead to the second half of the season. And, of course, to start it, before we get into particulars, before we look at the teams who are looking really well and teams that are buried, let's look at the deadline because the trade deadline passed. And it was a busy one. What normally was never a thing suddenly is a thing. Suddenly they're taking a page from other sports and looking at contracts and saying, well, they're on a rookie deal. He's got one more year left. Let me trade him now and get something for him. In the case of, say, I don't know, the Miami Dolphins, Adam Gase had enough, and he needed someone, I think, Jaws, to kind of, here you go. I need to have a sacrificial lamb to get my message across. And so he trades who I think is a terrific back, Baldy, and that is Jay Ajayi to the Philadelphia Eagles. What a shocker. Were you guys stunned?
He was a terrific back. He has not been a terrific back this season. Now, I don't know if he could reclaim the luster that he had of last year where he had 3 200-yard games. I mean, he was a bell cow. You can give him the football. At that position, and, the NFL career now is down to 2.9 years, the average NFL career. You start getting around year 3, year 4, year 5. The body wears down. The cumulative effect of all those hits. And I don't know if we'll ever see the Jay Ajayi we saw last year. I don't know that. But I got to tip my hat to Doug Peterson, Howie Roseman, all the guys involved in this decision, Joe Douglas. They gave up a 4th round.
Yeah. They got nothing to lose, Joe.
Nothing to lose. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you watch the Eagles games for the first 8 weeks, their biggest issue, running back protection. Maybe Corey Clement, the rookie, is the best. But you can't trust LeGarrette Blount right now. You can't trust Wendell Smallwood. And the 49ers came to town last week, and they blitzed the middle on twist stunts and all kinds of different ways to get to the running back. They got defensive linemen on the running back. They got crushed. That's one issue. To Joe's point, look, Jay Ajayi is down to 3.4 yards a carry right now. Yep. Now, I did a game 3 weeks ago in Atlanta. He had a nice day. He had 20-something carries, 140 yards. And I gave Adam Gase credit because they were down 17-0. They never went away from the run. And it paid off in the fourth quarter. Jay Ajayi had a lot of good runs. He's one of these guys, you got to give him a point of entry. You got to give him a hole. He's not going to create it. Now, when you have 200-yard days like he had last year, 3 of them, it was half his yards he gained were in 3 games. He was looking for home run hits.
Yep.
If you're running back and you're looking and he got him. Yeah. He got in every one of those games he had a 50-plus yard run, at least one. But if you're looking for home runs, you're going to have a lot of negative runs. Now, last week against Baltimore, he had 6 runs that were for negative yards. Now, they didn't block the Ravens' front very well at all. But at some point, a back has to make yards, even when a play is poorly blocked. And it's a question about Jay if he could do that. But I'll say this. I think the Dolphins are a mess. So many different things have happened down there, from the hurricane to the quarterback situation to, even Lawrence Timmons was suspended. I mean, just crazy stuff going on. Philadelphia, to me, is one of the best, if not the best, locker room in the league. You give them a home with Carson Wentz as your leader, no nonsense, no BS going on. I think 53 guys all rowing in the same direction. Maybe some of the running backs might not be real happy right now. Yeah. But you know what? I think you give this kid like a new home and a real culture You might see the best of them.
What I don't understand is we always look at it, hey, we all live in the Philadelphia area. So every time we pick up the paper, we listen to, Anthony in the morning. Oh, we got Jay Ajayi.
Yeah.
I always look at the team that traded the guy.
Right.
What are they saying? What's the media in Miami saying? Why did they get rid of this guy? The guy was a Pro Bowl running back. 3 200-yard games. All of a sudden, a 4th-round pick. So then you got to, drill down a little bit. Well, they're saying he missed meetings, he missed flights, he wasn't a team player. So now we're going to say, and I agree with Baldy, it seems that this Eagles team, the culture is really good. And a guy that's 23 years old in Carson Wentz is the team leader. I always get a little bit concerned. Where's the real veteran leadership? Because there's usually a veteran guy. Baldy locker room's weaving in. There's always some guy
the veteran presence, Jason Peters,
is gone.
Is gone now. Yeah. That's a big deal moving forward.
Yeah. So who's the guy? A Jason Kelsey maybe? Does he step up? He's always been kind of that leader type guy. The center usually is. Isn't it amazing how that position usually?
Well, they got to tell the quarterback what to do.
Well, you're right. I was scared. Well, what's the snap count? Right. So here's how smart offensive linemen are. This is amazing. So I'd forget the count a few times. You see all this stuff in the huddle, and you go, hey, on 3. And they get the line, and you look at the defense, and you forget the snap count. So here's where offensive linemen are brilliant. They came up with a system.
Yeah. Days of the week.
To alert the quarterback. A, B, and C. A is 1, B is 2, and C is on 3. So I would say, hey, Guybo, Jerry, I forgot to, don't say I. What's the snap count? C. Okay.
Well, I also gave.
And defensive linemen never figured it out.
But once that defensive lineman would figure it out, I gave you the days of the week. I gave you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That was the kill.
Well, let's dive into Miami before we get to the Eagles, because they're going to be a big story moving forward. So the Dolphins are a mess. I mean, you just see it. Adam Gase loses his patience. He ripped his team after that game, came out. And, guys today don't like to get ripped. Guys, they don't appreciate their head coach, and he drilled them pretty hard.
Goodbye.
Right.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what coaches are supposed to do.
Yeah.
You get your butt handed to you 40-0 on national TV on a Thursday night. Joe Flacco's out of the game with a concussion, and you get your butt whipped 40-0. I'd fire the coach if he didn't get up there and get on some people.
Yeah. And so when he looks to move Ajayi, is it a message to the rest of the team? Because here's the other thing. Obviously, he talked about, Gase did, about his constant habit of looking for the home run ball. Right, so that annoyed him, and you could tell that his offense wasn't being run the correct way. So, is it one of those things where you go, look, if I move Ajayi, I'll move any of you guys?
Well, I think it does send a message, but I would like to see it corrected by a disciplinary type move rather than a panic type move. You got Clyde Christian down there running that offense. Mm-hmm. This is what coaches are supposed to do. As Baldy talked about, his point of entry. Is it right? Are they blocking the point of entry? Or is just the offensive line bad? Yeah, they're looking for home runs. The only way you hit home runs is to get the second level. So someone's got to get him through the first level of the defense.
They have a new offensive line coach that wasn't there to start the season because of all the issue that happened to Chris Forrester.
Yeah, we didn't mention that.
I mean, that was an embarrassing. That was a mess. Right. All right, you bring in a new offensive line coach to handle that aspect. You lose. Look, Mike Pounce is a nice player, but he's never healthy. Your left guard is out last week. And so you've got.
And you also have a backup quarterback,
and you got a backup quarterback. And Matt Moore is. Look, he's got a. Like Matt Moore is a nice backup quarterback. He finished the season for him last year. He gave him a little bit of a lift, but these backup quarterbacks that are looking for the rest of the season. It's hard. It's hard for Matt Moore. Yeah. He's not made to be the starting quarterback. Come in, play 2 games, 3 games, finish out the season.
A veteran guy to come in and make the interception throws that he made that's embarrassing. That's exactly why a Matt Moore is a backup, and he won't be a backup any longer when you make decisions like that. Those are just bad decisions of where he was throwing the football. Plain and simple. So you might get Cutler back this week.
I mean, they're still. I think. But to your point about what Adam Gase did, they're still a 4-3 team. I mean, in this league, 4-3, you're still right in the thick of everything. Now, at some point last year, they won 5 in a row. Then they got smoked by Baltimore. But you can put these streaks together. You got to come together. It's all about a team. It's not about individuals. It's about a team. And so I think he's looking to salvage the season. Probably not going to pay the guy based off medical history next year. get a fourth-round pick.
There's all about knees, and they're talking about future.
All that stuff is out there. It's all out there. Now, the guy hasn't missed a game. The guy lines up and he plays. And he plays. He's a bell cow player now.
He's a physical back.
He'll get you 25, 30 carries. He's done it repeatedly. So he can do that, and I have never seen him limping off the field. Like, he's not a guy that's, and when he gets a head of steam up now, he can finish plays. I just think it's going to be a good place for him.
All right, so another big move was obviously the Niners getting Jimmy Garoppolo finally. And it kind of surprised because you didn't think he was going to move. You thought that he was going to be the heir apparent to Tom, or at least stay back there, at least as an insurance policy. And the Niners give up a number 2. A lot of people are saying it was a bad move by New England, that they could have waited. They would have gotten the 3, but at least they would have had protection if something happened to Tom.
I think they waited long enough, and I think no one, maybe no one in this league understands the market better than Bill Belichick and the people in that Patriots organization. And Garoppolo really was an insurance policy. There's only so much you can keep paying that premium, and sooner or later you can't afford it. And there was going to come a point where they couldn't afford that premium. The time was right. And the time was right for the 49ers. We all watched that game on Sunday. And having C.J. Beathard as your quarterback, I know exactly what John Lynch was thinking. John Lynch in his first year as a general manager in this league, and John's a bright guy. He knows the game as well as anybody. He's got to be up there watching this young man, C.J. Beathard. And I tip my hat to C.J. Beathard. He played his ass off. He had no support. He had no help. But you could just see
jailbreak. He was overmatched.
He was a man against.
Yeah. They lost 2 starting tackles during the game.
No, there are a lot of things wrong, but you could just see Beathard was out of place.
Yes.
In the National Football League. The guy is probably going to be a nice journeyman backup quarterback for 8 years. That's a great career, by the way. But if you're going to compete in the NFL, you got to have a skill set that gives you a chance to win. And he just didn't have it. And the kid gave everything he had, going up against an Eagles defense that did a really good job against him, shredded the offensive line, mixed their coverage, mixed their blitzes. Just devastated the kid. And by the way, I've seen one of the most, I don't even want to call it stupid because I have respect for coaches in this league. But the 4th down quarterback sneak.
Jaws. They're all sitting in the gaps. They're waiting for it.
They were like, everybody was in the gap.
God. Everybody was there.
And then they went empty. They motioned to empty.
At some point, you just call the timeout.
Call a timeout. How do you call
Reset
that
yourself.
play? See that. And that's why you don't put young quarterbacks in that position.
Yeah.
And coach them properly. That's the stuff I felt bad about this kid. He got whacked before he had the ball.
No prayer. Do you guys, Jaws, you like Garoppolo? Do you think?
I like Jimmy Garoppolo. And for the first couple of years of his career, he never got on the field. But I studied the preseason tape, and I like what I saw. He got progressively better. And that's what you look for in any young player, that they get better and don't repeat the mistakes they made. Like at any position, you're going to be coached. You're going to be coached hard. He was getting coached hard. And I think he now will be a good fit for a Kyle Shanahan offense.
Baldy, you like Kyle Shanahan a lot, Baldy.
Yeah, I like Kyle a lot. He's been limited by what he can do. He's just got so little to work with right now. I've never seen a team decimated like that. They lose Solly Thomas.
Yep.
All right? They lose, they've lost Reuben Foster for basically the whole season. You lose 2 starting tackles in a game. You go through the positions of what they've lost. It's unbelievable. And, they're not coming back. I don't know if Joe Staley comes back. It was an incidental contact by Fletcher. It wasn't an intent or anything, but he got his orbit busted up.
He punched him in the face.
Well, I don't know if it was like a real punch. Does it look like he was going to go?
He's going to get fined because they're going to see it the way I saw it.
Yeah.
It didn't deserve a suspension, but he went with his hands to the face.
Yeah. It wasn't like he was trying to poke his eye. He was just going to hit it.
But he went high and he went to the face, and he's going to get fined for that.
Well, but this team is just so decimated there. So Kyle, if you go back and you watch that Thursday night game between the 49ers and the Rams, and you watch Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan go at it, that was a hell of a game. There was back and forth. There was 2 good offensive coordinators, 2 good designers of offense, and San Francisco was relatively healthy then, and they put up a big number on the Rams. Number 1 defensive football right now, or close to it. But anyways, he's just had very little to work with. But I think, look, I like Garoppolo. I did a game, Jaws. I was doing the Eagles preseason games, and we were up there in New England, and he was a rookie, and he came in against the Eagles in the second half. And the one thing about him, he's got no fear cutting the deep ball loose. Yeah. He likes to throw it. He likes to attack. Yeah.
All right, the another big move by Seattle, which really decimated along the offensive line. They really need some help. They go get Dwayne Brown, and they give up a 2, a 3, and Jeremy Lane.
I would say this may turn out to be the best move because they are a good football team. Defensively, they didn't. I mean, Deshaun Watson had a heck of a game against them. That's an abnormal game for that defense. But offensively, they can't run the football. They can't block. And I know, the midway point of the season, we're talking about MVP and people, Carson Wentz. I mean, Russell Wilson has literally put that team on his back. They can't block anybody. They can't run the football. And
I don't know how he does it,
I don't know how the plays he's making.
He literally does a Houdini act every week.
Yeah. Well, that game, which was one of the most
what an entertaining,
my favorite game of the year.
My favorite game
of the year. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the ending, because he throws the pick and it looks like Houston's going to win. They get the ball, but how in the world?
3 plays, 80 yards.
3 plays, yeah.
I mean,
3
plays,
plays, 80
yards.
yards. Yeah.
Blow a coverage for the touchdown.
Well,
Jimmy Graham.
look, the design was really good. Yeah. Tapu Richardson for 54 of the yards. I mean, there's 3 plays. But look, they got a really good receiving core. I mean, they got everything you want. That Doug Baldwin, that's just a good receiver. Tyler Lockett, you want him on any team.
Yep.
I mean, he can run the slot on anybody. And then Pooh Richardson, when he came out of Colorado, he was one of the fastest guys in the draft. I mean, he could fly. You got tight ends. I mean, you got it all. But that offense line is a joke. Russell Wilson is their best runner right now. He's their best runner. They don't have anybody that can run behind that line. And if you watch, like in that game, Jadeveon Clowney, it was ridiculous what he did. Like he literally every single play he ruined the play, and it was literally Clowney against Russell Wilson. How's he going to get out of this? He was an escape artist.
Yeah, it really was.
That was a no-brainer move for the Seattle Seahawks to get Dwayne Brown. He's a hell of a football player.
I think Houston's really going to miss out.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So with Seattle, are they now back to being an elite team in this conference, a dangerous team that can get out of the conference?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're that defense. That was the aberration. That defense usually dominates. You don't see Earl Thomas get beat over the top. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he comes back and makes an interception by reading a dig route, but Earl Thomas doesn't give up too many big plays. Richard Sherman doesn't give up too many big plays. He did in that game. So I think that game was more of the aberration as opposed to the norm. Defensively, they're going to be very good. Offensively, it's all about Russell Wilson and the receiving core, but they're going to have to find some balance. There's no question they do not have it right now. That offense is all Russell Wilson.
They don't have it, but they do have championship mettle. Like just in that game on Sunday. I mean, they're down 38-30. The only way to win is go 80 yards. And Russell Wilson, that's how he plays the game. He's been through it. He's tested.
Yep.
There's nothing that guy won't compete at. And so if it's just Russell Wilson and whatever else they got, like you put a defense out there and a coach that knows how to play in big games, they could be a difficult out,
especially if you have to play in Seattle.
Yeah,
hard place to go out and play. Yes. Yeah. Hard place.
Who's their back? Who's the guy of it? Because they give you a legion of guys. I mean, is there one guy that you look to and go? Because I don't think Eddie Lacy.
Well, see, I thought Eddie would be the guy because he can get you the hard yards,
right?
And that was the Marshawn Lynch. They didn't have that explosive guy, but they were gonna pummel you. They were going to take Doug Marrone. We're going to hit you in the mouth. That's how they wanted to have their running game. They weren't going to, do some window dressing. They were going to say, we're handing the ball off, and that's why I thought Eddie Lacy would be the guy. He hasn't been, but who knows? Maybe this offensive line,
Lacy,
Brown,
Carson, Procise, McKissick. I mean, they've got a bunch. It's just going to be a committee right now.
And it's Procise, the guy in the backfield.
Yeah, if he gets healthy, can Procise stay healthy? Yep. It's going to be a committee.
All right, the one other trade I want to touch on, because it's such an interesting situation. The Bills go from a team that everybody thought was tanking.
I love the Bills.
Accruing. Me too.
I love the Bills.
We love the Bills because Sean McDermott came on the Meatlocker, baby.
Yes. We got a season ticket holder.
No doubt, Jaws.
We got a former season ticket holder, the Bills. One Mr. Ron Jaworski.
I'll give you my season ticket seat. Section 23, row 13, seat 3 at Old War Memorial Stadium. Yeah, before the Bills were in that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I had a single ticket. I was such a wacky football fan. At 10 years old, I bought a season ticket, took the bus to watch the Buffalo Bills. So, hey, yes, I'm still
You were
Bills
an original Bills Mafia. They call it the Bills fans, the Bills Mafia.
The Polish Mafia.
You were it, man. That is awesome.
You think about it now. This team is 5-2.
Yes.
They're at the top of the charts. And turnover ratio, right? They're plus 14. All right, they were plus 4 on Sunday against the Raiders. They took a Raiders team that has all the ability to attack as well as anybody in this league. They're throwing 3rd and 11 flat routes, Jaws, to the sidelines. Like, they're getting home on their blitzes. They're disciplined. A disciplined football. They won the line of scrimmage against the Raiders' offensive line. That Kyle Williams playing as well as he's ever played, right, Jaws? This Adolphus Washington. I go through the list of all these guys. This Tre'Davious White can line up and play. He took Amani Cooper the entire game.
I remember you liked him coming out of LSU.
I liked him coming out because he was a 4-year player at LSU. And these kids at LSU, we're finding out Jalen Mills, these kids love the game of football.
Plus, go to the secondary, you'll see a lot of LSU players scattered around the football. Yeah.
But, you get in trouble if you just say they're the DBU because Ohio State and Marshawn Lattimore will speak up. But you know what? They don't beat their formula is simple. They don't beat themselves. They run the ball. They do the little things well, and they hit you in the mouth.
They're well coached, man. Sean,
they're well coached. They're not doing anything that they can't do.
Well, just remember when Sean was on here a couple weeks ago, and we talked about how he's building this football team. You know what it's going to get like in Buffalo in a couple weeks. You're going to get.
It was like that on Sunday, Jaws.
You're going to get
rain sideways.
You're going to get rain. Yeah, you're at the game. I'm watching it. You could, when they show the lights, it looks like a snowstorm coming down. So you're going to get weather. You're going to get wind. You're going to get snow. And he's built the team with that good defense, a ball hawking defense. Offensively, they're going to run the football. They're going to manage.
Shady had a great game last week.
And
he had his
by
best
the way,
game.
with Kelvin Benjamin, you needed that red zone guy.
Sure,
you're going to get Jordan Matthews back. They're going to look like an NBA wide receiving group out there. Big,
post up,
tall, strong guys. So I think you're looking at it that way. How do we get better in the red zone?
I can't wait till they play the Patriots.
That's going to be a good game.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a really good game. I'm with you.
I'll tell you what. It's interesting. So Kelvin Benjamin goes up there. Coaches. They just connect dots. Players that they know. I mean, you look at the guys that are up there. Leonard Johnson is playing corner for him.
Yep.
I mean, he's been in 4 teams, but he played for Sean. And you're in the meeting room, and you're prepared, and you're taking notes, and you're at the front of the class, and you're doing what you're supposed to. They go back, and they get those guys.
First
and they put them on your team.
Yep.
All right, so now, flip side, Carolina. Why would Carolina move its primary target?
Because they've changed the offense, They've changed the offense. They're throwing it to Christian McCaffrey. Devin Funchess is their big guy right now. I mean, Ed, the tight end, Jaws.
Dixon.
Dixon, is taking over, right now at tight end. They have that guy. They look too slow out there. If you put Kelvin Benjamin
You know why they
and
look
Devin
slow?
Funchess.
You know why they look slow?
Quarterback?
No, they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
but Jaws, the eye test says they're slow.
And I get everything you're saying, but this is, they're just big targets. The Ted Ginn helped everybody.
Yeah.
They don't have that blow the top off the defense
They want
receiver.
Curtis Samuel to be that guy, but he's not
Samuel,
that. He's just had a very limited role so far. Very limited.
But I was just surprised at a team that's still there. I get it, with opposite Funchess. But man, I mean that's a big loss for them. I think because I think he was their most dependable guy.
Well, there was a time 2 years ago before the injury, when literally Cam, that was his first read every play, Jaws, right? I mean, it didn't matter what part of the field was, he was throwing it there. It was either him or Greg Olsen. That's all we looked at. And now it's much more diversified right now.
Very schizophrenic team in Carolina. You watch week to week, you don't know what team is going to show up.
But they're a much better team.
They're a much better team.
When Kuechly's in the line.
Well, with the Eagles game, I think of that game when he goes out, the Eagles
they fell apart.
took over the game. Yeah.
All right, now let's go through. I want to go through. Look ahead at the second half.
Wait. Can we talk about the trade that wasn't made at the deadline?
Well, it's funny you say that.
Since you were on the
it's
trading.
funny you say that.
Which trade was that, Jaws?
So let's get into this and. Shame on me. Get a beer, Baldy. I need an opener.
What do you got,
I'm
Baldy?
behind a bar, too.
That's good.
So, Jaws, forgive me.
You're a Heineken man?
I'm a Heineken man. I'm a
Heine. I know.
I'm a Heine. You know I'm a Heine. I'm a Heine head. All right. Shame on me because I wanted to lead with it, but I was like, let me go at the end because I saw how crazed you got. So, what happened is the Cleveland Browns making an interstate trade with the Cincinnati Bengals, giving up a 2 and a 3 for A.J. McCarron, who was terrific at Alabama, but I don't see as an NFL quarterback. Nevertheless, they were going to give up a 2 and a 3. They celebrated the trade, but never reported the trade to the league office. Jaws.
That's very interesting. Well, You know, I
don't couch
I'm
it, Jaws.
upset.
Just let it go. Let it go.
No,
Let
I
it
can't. I can't.
No. I don't want you to let it go. I mean, let it fly.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Here.
Hey, you're the rifle, Jaws.
This is a team that's a mess, right? You're the Cleveland Browns. A mess.
Well,
They've made mistake after mistake after mistake. Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, blah, blah, blah. So A.J. McCarron's going to be the savior. Okay, they make the deal, right? 3:55, got in by 4 o'clock. The Bengals send the deal in. The trade is done. The Bengals are probably saying, okay, we got A.J., we get a couple draft choices. Great. All right, we're happy about this. The Browns do not notify the league office of the deal. The league vetoes the deal because it went beyond the deadline. Now, if I'm Jimmy Haslam, and I'm serious about
the
this.
owner of the Browns.
The owner of the Cleveland Browns. This man has been shredded publicly. I mean, they are the laughing stock of the country, the Cleveland Browns. You know, they're doing everything, and Jimmy's trying to get this team turned around. You know,
Trying to be patient. Got everything. Says he's got the right people in place. We're moving forward. This deal is bungled, totally bungled. This is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to the Cleveland Browns organization and personally the owner, Jimmy Haslam, in my opinion. I agree.
All the people he's put in place.
He's trusted all these people to do something
make decisions.
So basic.
Get us back. Get us back in the limelight. Get us back to winning. I would have brought my front office in, all the people involved with these personnel decisions. Literally, I'm serious. I would have sat them all down, and I would have said, I just came through that door. I just came through the door. What you just did was totally embarrassing and humiliating in a leadership role. Now get your ass out the door. You're all done.
You'd fire him on the spot, Joe.
I would have fired him on the spot. I mean, how much humiliation can a man take?
Yeah, I mean I don't understand. I don't know, how does he? Well,
and I know I'm being strong, and I respect the coaches. I respect the game, but that was awful. That was god-awful.
It's job number one, Jaws. It's job number one.
Yeah.
They were complete when that story got reported. I was saying to myself, I hope this is misreported. I hope there's something that we don't know that's got to come out, and it didn't.
It didn't.
They just bungled it.
Yeah,
which is inexcusable.
Right.
It's just inexcusable.
So if you're the owner of the team, you make that correction. Get him out.
Explain to me one thing.
But then the other part too.
Wait, I got to one thing.
After you bungle that though, then you got to go back and tell your quarterbacks everything's okay. We're going to play with you.
Yeah.
But wait, explain to me.
You're right. That's on the field action.
But explain to me this. They were going to give up a 2 and a 3 for A.J. McCarron. They passed on Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson, but want to give up a 2 and a 3 for A.J. McCarron?
Go figure.
I mean, I think if I'm Haslam, I go, thank God that trade didn't go through.
Yeah. Well, I'll defend Hugh Jackson a little bit in this one because I think as an organization, they are dysfunctional. The Carson Wentz workout.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it on this show.
He was there.
In Fargo. He was right next to me, Baldy.
Yeah.
We stood from here to Patrick Riley.
Yeah.
You know, we hi, Patrick.
Say hello, Patrick.
Okay, you know how you're standing at the workout. The guys dropping back,
all
45
talking to
minutes
each other.
workout. We're all talking, you know, and everyone's there, got their notepad out, and we're watching the workout. Workout ends. I turn to Hugh. I said, what do you think, Coach? He goes, one of the best workouts I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, hell, the Browns are taking – you don't make that statement.
Right.
So then, you know, they go back to Cleveland. They huddle up, whatever happened in there, and says, well, we don't really like him. I know. You said it to me. I'm going to trust the man on his word.
He's a football guy.
He's a football guy, and he's there. You feel it. You're around.
Yeah, he knew it.
So he went back to Cleveland, and somebody said, I don't know who it is, someone said, we're not drafting Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So he had to backtrack.
Yeah.
I can only go on what he said to me. And you, I've known for a long time, and he's a man of his word. He didn't go back there and say, man, that was an awful workout. No.
Well, what level of dysfunction is that, Jaws? If your head coach, who's supposed to be a quarterback guru, who's trying to build this thing, can't get the guy that he wants.
Well, who has the power then?
I don't know.
That's exactly. If
I
you
don't
don't
know,
know the power structure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the level of dysfunction.
They took the shortstop instead.
Yeah.
It goes back to that. It goes back to that. Yeah. There is no way in the world that you should have analytic baseball people running an NFL franchise. They have bleeped this whole thing up from the start.
By the way, is this the same team that took Johnny Manziel?
Yeah. And we don't know. We don't know who did that deal either.
Right.
But we know this: Kyle Shanahan, who was on that staff, said, whatever you got to do, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not staying here.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I loved your response, though. Your response, because I could feel your wrath here, Jaws.
Well,
because it offends you to your core.
That this was not handled properly.
Right.
This is professional football. Yeah. These guys are being paid millions of dollars to do your job. And you embarrassed Jimmy Haslam. You embarrassed the Cleveland Browns. You embarrassed the city of Cleveland by the way you handled this situation.
Yeah, big time.
I think it's awful.
No,
and maybe I'm a little strong because I do respect the guys in this business. I have great respect.
Yeah.
But they bungled this badly.
Yeah, it's awful.
But
it's awful.
But it's a bungling that is so preventable. Like it should never get bungled. Like there's a deadline. Everybody knows the deadline. They only talked about this thing ad nauseum. The trade day. We know when it's free agency starts. We know the hour it starts. We all know it. Civilians know this stuff. The people in the league. This is the rules. The one thing that on Park Avenue there where the league headquarters are, they are run by a set of rules. Like they don't deviate from that.
No.
This is not hard.
401, no trade.
Amazing.
359, deal goes through. That's simple. There's rules.
All right, let's move on past the bungling Browns, and let's talk about the contenders, teams to watch for the second half. Let's start off in our own backyard where the Eagles are just amazing, sitting at 7-1, and they really just haven't really sweated a game since the Giants game, and they go get Jay Ajayi. They lose Peters, as we know. They suffered a big loss in Jordan Hicks, but they're going to get Darby back for their corner for their secondary. How are the Eagles situated right now, and are they the team to beat in this entire conference?
I really waffle on that, Anthony, because I look at their record, and yes, it's the best record in football. I don't think they're the best team. Now, this is all going to play out. I still see some flaws. The Jason Peters loss was not exposed last week. The Jordan Hicks loss was not exposed. You're playing backup linebackers that good teams will game plan to beat them. I want to see a good offensive team against this, defense with losing some players. I want to see a good edge pass rusher, and actually I thought Doug and Frank Reich did a really good job in this game. They had 9 heavy sets on the field, 6 offensive linemen, 9 times, and they gave Vitae some help over there in passing situations.
Yeah,
usually that's a smash mouth.
Isaac Seumalo, the third tackle.
They put him over there, so 6 old linemen. And they threw the ball out of that. So, and they were giving him help. They were giving Vitae help.
A lot of 3 tight end sets too.
And they did I thought it was a really good game plan. They weren't going to go 3 wide and 11 personnel and spread them all out and give guys a short corner. So I thought the game plan was really good. But there's going to come a time where you're going to have to spread it out and you're going to have to throw the football. And that's what I want to see if they can hold up. Time will tell. I think they're a very good football team. I'm not saying they're the best team in the NFC, but they have the best record. So pretty much that's how people look at it.
Jaws, we all watched on Sunday mornings and Friday nights matchup for ESPN for years, and you were host of it for 20 years, Jaws.
27.
27 years.
It's amazing.
And, and it was your baby. You started the show.
That show
and
was the greatest.
It was a great show, and it's a great concept.
TV sucks now.
It's it's
a good show.
But it's the show and the theme of the show will come into play at some point this year because some team is going to be able to block up the Eagles' front. And the team that does and is able to block up their front without Jim Schwartz sending all 7 and playing zero coverage, we'll then find out. Jalen Mills, Rasul Douglas, we'll find out if they can hold up on the back end because teams really haven't tested them down the field. They're living with these guys, and to their credit, they've all played well. They've defended the run. They've done what they were supposed to do. They're playing very well as a group. But until you get tested like that by a team that can block you up, if Dallas can block them up, just look at a team that can block them up. And if they're not as successful on third downs, because third downs, they weren't that good the other day against San Francisco, and the offense struggled for a long time.
Bad weather day, too.
It was, but you're going to get a lot of bad weather days, in the next 2 months.
It's November, Anthony.
So, look.
You got to get your fur coat out now. Yeah.
People just look at records, and records don't mean anything. Yeah. They don't mean anything. It's important to get to the playoffs with your good record.
Well, listen, I think you're right because if you look at when it comes to being tested, if you look at the series of quarterbacks that they faced, just about everyone was stationary. You had the Eli Manning, Carson Palmer. You had those guys going into. Then you had Cam, who was the anomaly, but he did not play well in that game. And then you get C.J. Beathard. So, I get it. I'm curious to see when you face a team that's got a good offensive line.
They're going to get Brock Osweiler this week. I mean, they should just, that offense is dysfunctional. Completely dysfunctional.
They can't run the football. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders practiced, so he'll probably play on Sunday. That's a good sign. But Brock Osweiler's not a guy that you're going to say, oh, he's going to handle this Eagle defense.
No.
He's not going to do it. They can't run the football, and they can't protect the quarterback. We saw that against Kansas City, and this is the type of team that the Eagles defense feasts on.
Short week. I mean, I don't see any reason why they're not.
By the way, not to interrupt,
Yeah.
you look at schedule. Denver, Monday night in Kansas City.
Horrible.
Come to Philadelphia. Go back. Where do they go next week?
New England.
Yeah. You talk about murderers row.
Yeah, that's
I think
brutal.
John Elway is calling Harold Katz and Mike North up there and talk about, hey, what are you doing to us,
you're
man?
killing
But
us right now.
the thing about this Denver team is, and it showed it Monday night, Kansas City scored 1 touchdown against them. They couldn't run the ball at all against them. This is a good defense. It's a championship-level defense. At every position, they're a championship-level defense. And it's a good test for the Eagles, but I almost feel like John Elway right here, what they've done at the quarterback position, you only get so many years with a championship-level run, on a defense. Seattle is right at the end of their run here with a champion. You get those kind of defenses, you want an offense that can sustain some offense, that can score some points. Give yourself a chance right now.
And not turning over like they did 5 times on Monday night.
Yeah.
All right, let's stay in the NFC East and look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys are about to lose Ezekiel Elliott for 6 games. Is that their death knell?
No, I don't think so. I think their team is overall still a deep football team. In hindsight, I know it's easy to say that. They're never going to win this thing. The Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel. They're never going to win. We saw that with Brady. We saw that played out.
City Hall.
You can't fight it. I would have probably tried to cut that 6-3 with some sort of appeal
and let them settle early.
And it was a distraction. I don't care what anyone says. I played 17 years. Baldy played 11 years. You have that stuff going on all the time, every day. And it's not necessarily you're thinking about it, but every day.
Somebody's asking.
You go to the mall. You go to the mall. You go to go out for dinner. You're with
Everybody's
your family.
asking about
the locker room. Every reporter comes up, and of course it's a distraction. Anyone that says it's not, no, that's BS. It's troubling when people are you're not talking about, hey, how you going to do your job? It's about Ezekiel, the appeal, and what's going on. So it is a distraction.
All right, let's go to the North. The Vikings. Either you guys believe in the Minnesota Vikings with the quarterbackless, the Keenan?
You can't win in this. Look, I like Case Keenum. And the kid has been unbelievable in his role. I don't think you're going to get a healthy Sam Bradford regardless of what happens. I don't think you're going to see that. So you're going to have to live and die with Case Keenum. The running back situation, maybe if Dalvin Cook and the offensive line stayed healthy. The defense is good, but they can't do it by themselves. And I think eventually, if they do get to the postseason, they're not going to be a strong contender.
I agree with Baldy literally on everything except the Sam Bradford situation. I think if Sam is healthy and can play, I think they're a Super Bowl football team. I really do. And I don't know long-term how Sam is going to be. Case Keenum's come in and done a really good job. The kid is a backup quarterback. He can give you 2, 3, 4 games. I think long-term he gets exposed. Sam Bradford, I think, will be the key. If Sam Bradford is under center and he's healthy, they're a Super Bowl contender.
All right, there's some talk that Aaron Rodgers could get back. Maybe his season's not done. I mean, it's got to be the only way that they're talked about. And Detroit, you saw, again, them shoot themselves in the foot. They
can't gain a yard. They cannot get a yard when they have to get a yard. They can go up and down the field with the best of them.
They should have had Pittsburgh beat 474 yards of total offense.
They went up and down the field on them. They could not finish plays. But they couldn't do it against Atlanta. The 3 games this year, they couldn't get a yard. If they got in a yard, I mean,
they'd be 7-1.
Pittsburgh had 2 goal line stands on them. They didn't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't understand why they even went for it. It was fourth and there was first and goal, and they couldn't get it. They get backed up. This
has been going on.
It's 4th and 2.5, and they go for it instead of taking the 3.
They're going to get Taylor Decker back. It's going to make a big difference in the offensive line. Look, Matt Stafford he is a gutty kid, man.
He's getting pounded, Baldy.
There's no doubt, Jaws.
That bothers me.
I know it does, and rightfully so. But they are not built. They're not built if you don't have a way to gain a yard in this business right
You're not
now,
gonna win.
Pittsburgh's sitting there and Javon, like all these guys up front, they're just stoning them at the line of scrimmage.
All right, let's look at
There's
the
a
South.
team. I was going to say there's a team.
Yes,
that,
the NFC South. And I'm
There's the
curious
team.
about your New Orleans Saints. The defense improved. Of course, the amazing Drew Brees and what he's done. A different type of offense.
5 in a row, man. This Marshawn Lattimore, to me, is as good as rookie. This is a great rookie class.
Yep.
We all knew it was going to be a great rookie class. At every position, there's great rookies in this class. But this Marshawn Lattimore might be as good as anybody at any position. He might be the best corner in the draft in the entire league right now. He's that good. He literally, you can give him, and it's amazing if you have one. If you have one great corner, what you can do, what Dennis Allen can do defensively right now. And they've got some young players up front. It's not just Cam Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, Trey Hendrickson. They got players up front, this Daniel Onyemata. Like, they got players up front. And then the back end, they're not breaking down the way they have over the last 4 years.
Yeah, and that's been their issue historically, giving up explosive plays. Their pass rush has been good. Lattimore, I agree with Baldy. When you have one corner that you could just leave on the island and not worry about him and take 10 other guys and play defense with those 10 guys, that is a huge difference. Dennis Allen has that luxury to do that. Offensively, I'm going to go back. We all know, hey, it's a quarterback's league, and you got a lead pipe lock Hall of Famer in Drew Brees. He's made some mistakes this year. Mm-hmm. He has that are uncommon for Drew Brees, but he's come back from those mistakes. I think some bad decision interceptions, but he's still Drew Brees. And with the game on the line, I want that veteran guy under center for me. And this is a team at 5-2 right now. I think they are for real.
But think about this, Joe. Think about the last time the Saints were in the postseason. They were playing the Eagles here in Philadelphia. And they gave the ball to Drew Brees on the last series. And he pulled the hearts right out of the Eagle fans and Eagle players. Like, that guy will rip your heart out. Doesn't matter how many mistakes he makes. Like, they're working in Alvin Kamara. They're working in new players right now. But that offense that offense works in this business.
Yeah, Sean Payton.
Play action, run the ball. I mean, the stuff that they do, the deep shots that they take, it's a great offense.
He is a beautiful designer. And I can tell you, boring offense. I can tell you guys that can design it to get people open. He is one of those guys. Breeze will normally get to number one. They'll design a play for number one to get open. He will get open. It's not like 1, 2, 3.
But you know what I love, though, Jaws? If they're having problems protecting, they're going to move them. I mean, whatever it is that you're doing or doing well during the game, they've got the next step in order to counter that.
All right, we talked about Seattle, but there's one other team left, and that's the Rams. Are the Rams, the baby Rams, are they for real?
That coach is for real.
Yeah, you've always talked about Sean McVay,
man. They had a bye week last week. Look, the offense is well-designed, and he coaches hard. Jaws knows this.
Man.
He coaches hard, and it shows up. They fixed Todd Gurley. He's legitimate. They fixed the offensive line.
They fixed Jared Goff.
They fixed Jared Goff, which looked like nobody was going to be able to do that. But the thing that's been the surprise is defensively. They've played, and it's not just Aaron Donald. They've played well defensively. And you couldn't say that at any point last year, or you can't figure out why. They've lost players, but they're playing well defensively.
All right, of all the teams, give me one team right now that you think will represent the NFC come February.
Seattle.
Baldy?
I'll take I do like the Eagles. I do like the Eagles. So, I'll stay with them. I like the way that they're constructed.
See, I don't want to come off as a homer.
I know.
So I'll take the home team.
Right.
I'll take the
Eagles out of the equation.
I'll take the Eagles out to eliminate that aspect here, because we're a worldwide podcast here. So I know we got fans
worldwide.
Worldwide.
Make that clear.
Yeah, I'll say the team that I think that can really shake things up are the Saints.
Okay. All right, good stuff. All right, now let's go to the AFC. Let's start, of course, with the Patriots, who all the talk about, oh, my God, what's going on? What's wrong with them? They're in a position, as they are always. Are they the same Patriots? I mean, are they a team that you have to worry about?
Well, you better go look at your scorecard and see who some of these guys are, because it's changed a lot. You look at them defensively now, like the personnel. they're playing a lot of new people that might not know, Landon Roberts. There's just some people out there that are playing right now for them. They're playing good football.
And they made a schematic change. They've early in the season, I just got the gut feeling, going through their tape, not charting every snap, they were a man-to-man team. They were having problems. Heavy man, and they've evolved a lot more zone. Eyes in the backfield, eyes on the quarterback, and they've kind of settled into that.
Yeah.
And that's where, when Bill with Romeo and Matt and all those guys, I always thought they were a better zone team because they just communicated so well. Mm-hmm. They took away what you wanted to do. Yeah, they gave up yards, but they never gave up a lot of points. They play enough man, in the third down situations. They're going to force you to make a stick throw and get off the field. But I think they made a schematic change.
They had a good month of October.
It's paid dividends.
They had a good month of October.
But their offense was not as prodigious as it has been in the past.
Prodigious? Is that? You're confusing ball out these big words, man.
Nothing bigger than mayonnaise in this podcast, all right?
Heineken. All right, some polysyllabic word right there. What do you?
Last week in the game, the two running backs, all right, Rex and James White. They had 14 catches. I mean, they throw the ball to the running backs. They let the running backs just move the chains. Yeah. And Brandon Cooks is a deep threat. They've got, the Gronk in the red zone and down the seams, and they throw to running backs. They just spread you out to let your team expand. If you want to play man, they got their man beaters to get them free. I mean, Rex Burkhead right now, like that guy can beat anybody.
Smashing it up inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about the Bills, so let's move over to the AFC North and the Steelers. Steelers look good. They're suddenly back kind of where they're at. Ben missed some open throws on Sunday night. He could have had a couple more. The kid who everybody loves, the Schuster, 20 years old. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And he's done what Martavis Bryant couldn't do, and that is adapt and be a part of something.
Absolutely.
Instead of being a selfish rat bastard.
How do you really feel?
Oh, my God. I can't stand that. That pisses me off,
It's a consummate team game.
Yeah.
We know that. 28 years on the field, Baldy and I. You know why you win. You win because of that camaraderie, that esprit de corps. And those are words, but they're truthful.
That's a word.
Yeah, when you get you like that esprit de corps. When you get guys that play for each other, and I love Schuster. I you know what? I'm a big believer. We talk about this in Philadelphia. There's a little kid enthusiasm the way you have to play the game. And if you lose, and I think Doug has his team playing for each other. They're having fun. Is it the celebrations? Yeah, is it hokey? But you know what? I think it's cool. Yeah. I think it's fun. Yeah. I think
you got Mike Trout in the stands.
Yeah,
let's go hit a baseball.
throwing the ball. Yeah, exactly. And I love that. And I see Schuster saying, "This guy's having fun, man."
Yeah.
And you know what? The old veterans start going, "Yeah." I like that. And it brings those guys, back in.
It's interesting. This Juju Smith, though, I was the MC of this Polynesian Hall of Fame thing in Hawaii last year.
Were you in Vi?
With Vi, yeah. So he's part Tongan. So
is he really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
His mother's
wealth
Tongan.
of knowledge here.
But here's the thing: he was the college Polynesian Player of the Year last year, coming out of USC. And so we're at this event, and Troy Polamalu is there, and Vi, and all these great Polynesian players. These guys are humble people. They're not. You're never going to see Juju Smith Schuster. You're never going to see him beating his chest or pointing to the back of his jersey. He gives all the credit to the people, the Warriors before him. He's one of these type of people. He's a great team guy. And, they've been looking for that guy opposite Antonio Brown. Antonio's going to get he leads the league in receptions. He's always going to lead the league in receptions.
He's got 95 targets already.
He's going to get his touches.
Yeah.
But they needed a guy opposite him to get the eighth guy out of the box, so that they can run. They're balancing things up. And defensively, these young players they've been drafting, they are coming on. I don't care if it's Artie Burns or Sean Smith. Yep. These guys are playing. Bud Dupree, they've drafted these guys. They're playing them, and they're helping them win games the other night. And even Joe Hayden, the castaway from Cleveland, Joe Hayden looks like he looks pretty refreshed out there right now.
All right, let's go to the AFC South. There's no one really in the AFC North left. So the AFC South is so fascinating because of one, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Jaws, I have never seen this before. I have
remarkable.
Never seen – in Seattle, like literally, Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, like they're not just throwing bouquets at people. They don't do that. No. That's not how they play. They did that after the game. Yeah. They said it was the best performance against their defense they've ever had. And
A rookie.
Jaws, the throws he's making. Even against Alabama, he wasn't making those throws, Jaws. Like, where's this coming from? And Jaws, his ball mechanics, the fakes, all of the things that he does, I don't know how he does it right now.
I'll tell you, to me, it's amazing. And I studied him coming out.
You know how hard this is, Jaws. And this is hard.
And I look at all these guys coming out every single year. And I always, where I separate the guys, I look for NFL-type throws in college.
Right.
Didn't see a whole lot from him. Did not see a whole lot. Did not see a lot of stick throws. So this kid is being well coached, I think, number one, by Bill O'Brien. And number two, he's accepting coaching. And he does have incredible talent. And I think when you have the talent, you can coach that talent. And I'm not shocked, but I am surprised he's had this kind of success.
What kind of arm?
And what about DeAndre Hopkins?
Oh my God! Yes,
you can't cover the guy.
No,
you can't cover him. But Jaws, the guy. First of all, the guy doesn't fatigue. The guy is being chased all freaking day by Seattle, and I mean he's doing a Russell Wilson, escape artist routine on his own, and these throws, he sees the whole field.
Yeah.
Like, he's scrambling and he's running, okay, and he's eluding all kinds of players, and then all of a sudden, there's Will Fuller
wide open, 50 yards. Yeah, right.
And Richard Sherman he's still plastering, and the ball's perfectly thrown. Like, you can't. The stuff he's doing right now, he's got 19 touchdown passes in less than 7 games. I mean, we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
He's might be right now the single most exciting player in the league.
Amazing.
Yeah. You have to watch
amazing.
him. Yeah. That game the other day on Seattle. I mean, you watched it. That was exciting as NFL gets.
It was incredible. It was just fascinating. It was better than the Dallas Washington game.
Much better.
I couldn't stop watching.
2 400-yard passers in the game.
Oh my God!
Yeah, pretty
and the
remarkable.
defense was, it wasn't
Both
like they were blowing
defenses,
coverage. Like the ball was bombs away.
Or the opposite of that is the Jaguars, because they're a team led by defense. And do you give the Jags any chance here?
Absolutely. Their defense is phenomenal. They are a terrific defense. They will be in every game. Can they manage Blake Bortles well enough not to screw it up? And I hate to say that because I think Blake Bortles has had, once again, spurts where he has shown he can win football games.
Last game he played
well.
well.
Yeah, but the problem is always with Blake. He's going to make some boneheaded moves and turn the football over that's going to cost them. But defensively, they are in every game. The acquisition of Marcel Darius now. I mean, God, how are you going to move the ball against those guys in front?
They got Marcel Darius. They hope that he can regain form that he had coming out of Alabama. But they got a bizarre little quirk in that defense. They're the number one ranked defense in football, giving up the fewest points. Yep. They're last in the league in rush defense. Last. Giving up the most rush yards and the highest rush average. Now, Tennessee had a big day against them, a couple games, but still, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
That's an anomaly. That definitely is.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Charles, you've been doing this long. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. All right, let's go out west, where it's a very weird West. The Chiefs, of course, are the class of the division. Man, Andy Reid is having more fun. We all know him well. And I'm looking at him, I'm inside his head, and I'm going, I've never seen a man this happy before. The way he tinkered, look at all the ghost movement, look at all the stuff that he's doing. I mean, that's just his dream come true.
Yeah, I don't know who's got in Andy's head, but I love it. I mean, the trickery, the window dressing, all the things he's doing offensively, they're a fun team to watch.
They are.
I think the Chiefs are going to be a very difficult team to get out when they get to the playoffs. They don't have a weakness on their football team, maybe the kicker. That may be the one area, at least at this point right now, but it's the backup kicker. But when you look at that team right now, offensive line, maybe you may get a little bit concerned about good, pure pass rushers, but all in all, I don't think anyone's going to beat the Chiefs when they get to the playoffs.
They've been playing the last 6 weeks without their starting center and right guard. Yep. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif is a hell of a player, and he's been out. He's going to come back. They got Mitch Morris back for Monday night against Denver. He makes a difference. Andy could always find a center. He's a good player. They've gotten by without him. That's why they struggle a little bit offensively. I'm a little worried about him defensively. Denver ran the ball up and down the field on them. Pittsburgh shredded them, and they don't look like they play this dime defense with Sorensen at linebacker, and they just don't look like they can handle a team that wants to run the ball down their throats. Look, why anybody wants to pick on Marcus Peters, I have no idea. That guy is a thief. He is an absolute thief back there. He is one of the smartest players I've ever seen play in this league. If he plays 10 years, he's going to have 60 interceptions. I mean, he's just going to get the numbers. He's unbelievable at how he plays.
Speaking of interceptions, here's the number of interceptions Alex Smith has thrown.
Amazing. Amazing.
Zero. I mean, that's being judicious with the football. When you take care of the football like that, you're in every game.
And it's not like he's not taking his shots down the field because he is.
No, he's the number one, still the number one ranked quarterback in the league right now. So he's taking his chances.
All right, I don't know. I mean, is it worth talking about the Raiders? Raiders, no. That defense, man, oof.
God, well, it's more than that. I mean, look, the strength of this team, they just paid the left tackle and the right guard after they paid the left guard and the center. They're the highest paid offensive line of football. They won in the trenches last year. Jaws, you watched those games against Denver. They mangled
this year. They've been awful this year.
And it's not, they went out and got Marshawn Lynch, and they thought that was the missing piece. And I don't blame him. Give him the chance. He's an Oakland kid, East Bay, like all that. But he hasn't been any part of the answer.
No.
And they have not been a dominant group up front. They haven't. No. And until they got to have a season to turn it around. If they decide and they figure out, Mike Tice, the offensive line, if they decide they want to be the best offensive line in football and go win that title, then they can get back into it. But right now, like they were hanging their hats on that, and that's not coming up.
All right, pick a team to watch over the second half of the season in the AFC. Jaws.
Why'd you come to me first?
Baldy.
I'll take Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
We're watching them now.
But they play New Orleans next week at the Ralph route, and I'm doing the game next week. I can't wait to get to Buffalo next week for that game.
I'm going to say a team to watch may surprise Jacksonville. I'm just going to keep an eye on Jacksonville. I like defensively. It's going to keep in every game. Can Bortles manage the game properly? Not lose games for him. Not necessarily win them, but don't lose them.
Who wins that division, Jaws?
I think Jacksonville's going to win the division.
You don't think Houston will win it?
I think they could, but I think Jacksonville will.
And who comes out of the conference? Baldy?
I'm not going against the Patriots.
I'm not either. Yeah. I'm not. I love the Chiefs. I do. And they beat New England, albeit opening day, which is, you never know opening day. But those two teams, I think, are on a collision course for the AFC Championship.
All right, time now for the picks. All right, here we go. Let's start.
Trey Thomas, by the way, wants to come back and make his picks.
We got to do it. We got to have him.
Well, we're getting close to the family time of the year here, Thanksgiving. We'll bring him back.
All right, Buffalo, -3 at the Jets. Jaws.
Buffalo, they'll win this game 24-17. They will cover and go to 6-2. Wow. Go Bills.
How about it, Baldy?
This Jets team has been unbelievably competitive every week. They find a way to kind of lose it, at the end of these games, but they're in every one of these games somehow. I mean, it's a depleted roster. Yeah. But I'm with Jaws. I think Buffalo wins this game and they cover because they won't make the mistakes that the Jets keep making.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Buffalo as well. I think the Bills. We're all believer in the Bills. We all love the Bills. Eagles, an 8-point favorite over the Brock Osweiler-led Broncos.
Woohoo! I'm going to take the Denver Broncos with the 8 points. I think Philadelphia will win the game. I think it's going to be somewhat of a low-scoring game. Good test for Carson Wentz, the Eagles' offense. But I got the Eagles winning this one 21-16.
All right, Charles actually picks the score. I don't know.
Well, Baldy, I'm a quarterback. Come on.
Well, you are the quarterback, but I know you have like your analytics experts that you pay, Jaws, to come up with these scores. So that's I don't have.
I may have Sashi Brown working with me.
You may have them soon. Look, I feel the same way to Jaws. I think this Denver defense is. I think the world of them. I really do. Offensively, this Brock Osweiler is going to come get a start. Like he's on his third team in a year. Not even a year. He's on his third team right now. The guy, there's not an ounce of confidence that he exudes when you watch him. Nothing. And he's going to be that defense is looking at him to be the savior. And I just don't see it.
I think he exudes confidence when he goes to the bank when he's got that $40 million check from the
cash is your kind of checks, Jaws. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right.
I will. I'll take the Broncos in the points.
All right, so you got Denver. Yep. Listen, I agree with you. I think the same thing. I think it's a close-scoring game. Eagles win, but they win by that 5 to 6, 7, even a touchdown. Mm-hmm. You can even give them 24-17 if I'm going to give the score. All right, Rams minus 3.5 at the Giants.
Joe, is there any rats left on the ship of the Giants, or have they all jumped off?
Well, we haven't heard about them in a week, so they
just suspended the Jackrabbit indefinitely.
Jackson, Jenkins. What is going on up there?
That's what I'm saying, Jaws. Look, this is one of these teams. You want to know about a locker room? Look, when things are going good, they're great.
Yeah.
When it's not going good, it's a bad locker room, man. And that coach is not the guy to fix it.
Steve Spagnuolo's got to be pulling his hair out.
I was with him on Saturday.
Yeah, and how was that?
He needed a beer. That way.
He could join us in the Meatlocker. We have a lot of beers.
He asked about that.
Got to be frustrating.
He said,
I like the Rams, and I like the Rams to cover in this game.
Yeah, I do too. The Rams are coming off a bye week. They have gone to the East Coast. They went to Jacksonville earlier in October, and they handed it to them. They found a way to win using special teams. I like the Rams. I think they're well coached. I think that the Giants are a mess. I think the fans are going to turn on the Giants in this game. And really, all Giant fans are looking out there going, why don't we have Sean McVay as our head coach?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. You can't back the Giants right now. It's impossible to back the Giants. I mean, in this situation, I'm not. I mean, you guys love the Rams. If the Giants were a little bit less, just all the drama, just riddled with bullets, I'm going to take the Rams with you guys. I'll ride with you guys. Now, New Orleans.
I got the Rams in case, just so Baldy's aware of this.
All three.
20 to 14.
20 to 14.
My analytics guy.
Yeah. The analytics guy says.
Right down to the point.
All right. So
when are we taking this to Vegas, Jaws? When are we going?
I'm ready, baby.
Let's take your checkbook and let's all go to Vegas.
We can get this sponsored in Vegas now. I know people.
Yeah, I know you do.
Actually, we should do that.
Anthony, you know people.
And our guest, let's get Musburger as our guest.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get Brent as the guest.
Right.
How's that? Let's do that show in Vegas.
Guy.
Oh, we'll supply him with all the green bottles he wants.
Yes.
Sponsored.
Speaking of bottles, Jaws, there's one more over there. Yeah, thank you.
Heineken?
No, I'll take the other one.
All right.
Right there.
All right.
All right, perfect.
There you are, sir.
All right, let's move on to Tampa at New Orleans. Hello, Baldy. Tampa at New Orleans. The Saints a 7-point favorite over the Buccaneers. Tampa, talk about disappointments.
Huge.
Ooh, man, they're disappointing.
How is this team 2-5?
Right?
I mean, this offseason, I'm going, this team had the best offseason. They gave Jameis some help. They gave him speed. They gave him O.J. Howard. They gave him weapons.
You know what? The other thing that's interesting, like sometimes, Jaws, you put these teams together in the offseason with the draft and free agency and the trades, and, it's a new team, and you go, okay, at some point, we're either going to come together and we're going to click or we're not. And so far, nothing about Tampa's clicked. I mean, it just hasn't happened. Yep. And so they're finding ways to lose games right now, whereas the Saints are playing with unbridled confidence right now. That team is having fun for the first time. They've had a lot of good players in New Orleans for a long time. Cam Jordan's been a great player. Drew, they've had good players, but this team is actually having some fun right now. And I just don't think they're going to screw it up against a division opponent this week.
All right. So
I've got New Orleans, but I got them in a tight one, 21-20, so I'll take Tampa in the points.
Okay, Tampa plus 7.
Tampa plus 7.
There you go.
I can't wait to watch, Jaws, on Monday morning, Marshawn Lattimore against Mike Evans. I can't wait to watch that matchup because I know Lattimore is going to shadow him coming right out of the locker room.
I'm going to take the Saints, Jay, so get me down for the Saints. Baldy's got the Saints.
I got the
Jaws
Saints.
has the Buccaneers.
I'm taking the Bucs.
Points.
They can't continue to play this poorly.
All right, at Jacksonville. This is a great game. It's an interesting game, at least. The Jaguars, 4.5 over Cincinnati.
I am going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. I seem to be on their bandwagon. I was so disappointed last week with the play of the Cincinnati Bengals. It took a defensive touchdown late in the game at home to beat a bad Colts team. Mm-hmm. I always kind of believed that Cincinnati would get it turned around. Yeah, they got a win last week. Played poorly, though. Mm-hmm. They played very poorly. I don't think they get it turned around this week.
I'd like to know the health of Leonard Fournette right now. I think he makes a big difference at Jacksonville. But Jacksonville's coming off a bye week. We like Doug Marrone. He's family right here in the Meatlocker. They've had 2 weeks to get ready here. I mean, if Jacksonville is look, they're at home. They're trying to get fans. They're trying to get somebody following them there down there. They have to win this game. They have to win it.
Yeah.
So I'll take Jacksonville.
Baldy, they beat Pittsburgh big on the road win. They come home and dump.
Yeah.
You know,
They give up 2 special team touchdowns next week to the Rams.
Yeah.
But that's how they've been. They've been schizophrenic like that.
All right, I'm going to take the Jaguars as well. I don't. You know what? I always think that Cincinnati melts. That Cincinnati offense melts against good defenses, good physical defenses.
Well, Jalen Ramsey is going to see a lot of A.J. Green. That's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, that's going to be good. All right, so we all have the Jaguars, Jason. Now let's go to Carolina.
Jaws, fix the Falcons for me.
Yeah, what is
Fix
wrong,
the Falcons,
guys?
Jaws, you know Matt Ryan. He won your award this year.
NFL Player of the Year given by the Maxwell Football Club. I'm a big believer in the B word, balance. And I think Matt Ryan is at his best when he has equilibrium, the ability to run the football, throw the football, and use play-action passing. They have not been
Is that Sarkisian, Jaws?
No, there's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. There's a miscommunication of Sarkisian not understanding what Matt Ryan wants to do. I'm sure they've had meetings. Mm-hmm. They've talked about it, which, hey, you sit there Friday, you spend 2 hours in your play-calling meeting, but that's great on Friday. You sit in a room like we sit here. And
game day, you got to convert that third down.
And you got that clock running. You got that IHOP menu in front of you, and you got to call plays. And I don't think Sarkisian understands Matt Ryan yet. Hey, it may happen this week, but not only that, NFL style of offensive play. If you become one-dimensional, you're going to be in trouble. And you've got to get your running backs, and there's enough wide receivers in that team to make plays every time they drop back. But when the defense is playing nickel and dime all day, it's a lot harder.
These two teams know each other so well. God, they know each other. I mean, they're like 3 hours away from one another. They play twice a year. They both know each other's tendencies. They know the talent level. I'll take Carolina at home to win this game. I'll take it by a field goal.
I'm going to take Atlanta by a field goal, 27-24.
All right, I got Atlanta. Jaws and myself with Atlanta. Baldy rides Carolina.
Carolina's they're 5-3. Cam said this week, we're not going to apologize for being 5-3. We probably should be better. That team can still have a 6-2 finish. They're still capable of doing that. They have a lot of talent on that team. They're well coached. I'm going to still ride
I don't believe
Carolina.
in quarterback, Baldy.
All right. I mean, some people don't.
I don't believe him.
I'm with Anthony. I mean, I think back to that Thursday night game against Philadelphia. 2 possessions late in that game to win the game. He had guys open.
Yeah,
he flat out missed them.
I agree.
Flat out missed them. I want my quarterback with the game on the line to make plays, and he has not made the plays consistently. Yeah, he makes plays. He's a great talent. But when you need to make a play,
there's a difference between you making highlights and making winning plays.
Oh, yeah.
The Houston Texans, 13 over the Colts.
Why did the Texans trade Dwayne Brown? Why would you do that?
Well, we get into a whole nother thing now.
Oh, I mean, I mean, you got him under contract. Like, just ride a contract. Why would you ship him out?
I just think there's so much, and this is a little bit concern I have about the Texans. The protest, the owner, all the stuff going on, the Dwayne Brown holdout. All of a sudden that stuff begins to take away your focus. Hey, Bill O'Brien's got an unhappy organization right now. Mm-hmm. He's got his arms full of keeping everyone focused on
what a mess he had to deal with.
But they
it was a mess this week.
They went up there and played their
butt off. I told. But again, you can show up for a spurt. You were unified. It just that chemistry just isn't right, I believe, in Houston right now.
But I'm still going to take I'll take the Texans. 13 points.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans to win, but I'm taking Indy with that 13. I think it's juicy.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's fat, and I'll take the Colts. Yeah. I think the Colts can cover that ball.
I'll take the Texans. Give Colts the points.
Got that, Jason?
Yeah. I'll take them.
I'll
take them 38-14, as a matter of fact.
Baldy gave the wave.
He got his analytics out there.
Yeah, he got the wave.
The boys are working back here, man. You guys get that? Hey.
My analytics is I've watched every throw of Deshaun Watson. Right. That's my analytics.
That's a good analysis.
I feel you.
You could get the job in Cleveland now.
I don't want it.
All right, now let's move on to Arizona in the 4 o'clock games. Arizona -2 at San Francisco.
You know what's funny about this, Jaws? If you were doing this game on Monday Night Football, Jimmy G would be the story, and he's not even going to play. But he's the story. I mean, I feel bad for John Lynch right now. Look, it's a no mercy league. Nobody feels bad for anybody. But the losses of injuries of guys that they've had, it's just devastating what's happened to them.
Completely devastating.
It just rips your heart out. Like, you can't really compete with what they have out there right now.
Anthony, if you were calling this game, how would you open?
I'd have to make up a noise like this. Hold on,
There we go.
All right.
That gets it going.
football.
Man, Arizona's a mess, though.
Arizona's a mess. Hey, here's my upset of the week. Niners win.
Okay. You know what?
Niners win.
Let's roll Niners.
Outright.
All right.
Outright.
Outright. You got the outright, Baldy? Let's all ride together, the crew.
Ooh, is Drew Stanton playing? Is he,
Yes.
He's going. They're going with Drew
Carson
Stanton.
Palmer's, yeah.
I love that. That's a great sound right there.
I'll take Arizona by a field goal.
Oh, you can't even ride with us there?
No. I'll take Arizona by a field goal in
All
this
right.
game.
All right. We both got San Francisco.
All right, we got this one.
Baldy,
We got
once
this
again, the outlier with the Niners. Now, oh my, how about this game? Seattle, Washington. Washington, it's a shame. They just lose players weekly. They're a good football team, and they just get riddled and decimated by injuries. That O-line, they just fall. During the game against Dallas, they fell.
I got to tell you, I was, from the quarterback fraternity, playing the position and having respect for guys that play it. Kirk Cousins, against Dallas was phenomenal.
He was.
He had nothing. He was getting knocked down every throw.
Josh, he gets no help from his wide receivers.
Nothing. And
nothing.
I'm saying that,
they've got nothing out of Terrell Pryor and Josh Doxson. Nothing.
In fact, when he comes off the field, that game is over. It's a batted ball, intercepted, game over. Jay Gruden was there to shake his hand.
Yeah.
He realized
He knows.
it was a warrior performance.
It was.
Often they're signing guys on Tuesday.
Right. And
They're flying them in. Hey, you want to play? Here's your contract.
Yeah.
Oh, you're starting.
Oh, by the way,
By
the way, two of the guys that weren't in there. I mean, Brandon Sheriff and Trent Williams. I mean, they were both drafted in the top 5 picks in the draft. I mean, they're elite players. If you're, and their backups are getting hurt, and now you're taking guys off the street. Like, injuries, okay, you don't use an excuse. But when you lose the guys you're paying the most money to, you spent your highest draft picks on, and they literally are the foundation to your team, and they can't perform, that's devastating.
All right. So,
we missed the game. We had Tennessee at Baltimore.
We'll get back to it. The Seattle,
I'm just
7.5. Yeah, I know. I skipped right to that riveting Arizona-San Francisco game.
Yeah, hey, thanks.
Who you got? Seattle minus 7.5.
I'm gonna take Seattle, but Washington to cover. So 27-24 Seattle. I'll take Washington.
Man, I can't see. I mean, I know that Earl Thomas is not going to play in this game, and Seattle's not the same defense without him, but I don't see Washington scoring 24 points against this defense, even without Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
I'll take Seattle, and they cover.
Yeah, I like Seattle as well. So we take Seattle minus 7.5. Jaws, you got
the outlier.
Skins here. Tennessee, as you mentioned, Jaws, 5.5 over the Ravens. Tennessee come off the bye. Are they going to get right? I like Tennessee in this game, by the way.
Man, I've liked Tennessee through the offseason. They were much like Tampa Bay to me. I thought, man, they positioned themselves nicely the last couple of years. Good drafts. They're good in the trenches. They're going to run the football. They got quarterbacks that can make plays, and they've been kind of mediocre. But Baltimore has been a mess. I mean, Flacco's getting beat up. He's cleared the protocol, so he's going to play, which is a plus for them. They've had offensive lineman injuries. They've had wide receiver injuries. Fortunately for them, the defense has held up in Baltimore. Will keep the game close, but I've got Tennessee winning 21-13, covering that 5.5.
Yep, that's right. What do you got, Baldy?
Well, Jaws, he goes to the quarterback, Joe Flacco,
That's
his
right.
business partner
That's
here.
correct.
Does he help own Valley Brook as well?
No, just Ramblewood.
Just Ramblewood. I respect Jaws because he keeps it in family, all right?
Well, where's Trey Thomas? We're talking family.
Jaws is not going to go to Brandon Williams. When Brandon Williams is in the lineup for the Baltimore Ravens, they're a completely different team. They've shut 2 teams out when he's in the lineup. You can't when Pierce and Williams are anchoring the interior defense line, you're not moving them. Like, they are a good defense or to a great defense when all of them are playing. I don't think Tennessee gets a running game going in this game. I like Baltimore to win this game.
To win.
Wow.
Outright.
Woo. All right. Now let's go to the prime game at 4
You got that,
o'clock.
Chase? Okay. Yeah.
Jaws and I both
There's
have
no bye this
Tennessee,
week.
and Baldy's got Baltimore. Kansas City and Dallas.
Good game.
Chiefs won at Dallas. Now, of course, we don't believe that Zeke will play unless something happens.
Well, we've said that all year long.
Yeah,
you know?
Some court will, you have some injunction. They'll find some court in Ames, Iowa that will allow him to play.
Gary will take him to England.
Yeah. It'll be interesting if Ezekiel is going to have this suspension. I do want to see what this Cowboy team is like without him because he is such a good player. And I like Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden's fine. But Zeke Elliott is a different type of guy. His pass protection, his ability to run routes, his just heart for the game, it changes the team. It changes the team. It's going to be a great game. But I'll take Kansas City here. I'll take Kansas City by a field goal.
I like the Cowboys, Jaws. What do you think?
No, I like Kansas. I'm with Baldy. I think the Chiefs are, a much more rounded team.
Yeah.
I think Andy Reid, he's still got that Eagle hatred for Dallas.
Yes, he does.
That's a good point.
That's probably in the band. And when you play Dallas and you're Kansas City, it's like, hey, you're going to Dallas in this game. You're in the Star, in the big stadium. Sure, everything. I think this is one that kind of the Chiefs have focused on this year. Chiefs are playing really good offensive football, and I think they win this. They score a lot of points this game. I got them 31-28, they cover.
I'll take the Cowboys plus the 1.
Ooh.
Weren't the Cowboys the original Kansas City team? Wasn't the Kansas City team that went to Dallas?
That is correct.
1960?
Yeah.
Started
this
the Dallas
can't be
Cowboys.
the Sunday
Lamar
night
Hunt.
game. This can't be the Sunday night game.
No.
Oakland at Miami, that's got to get flexed, no?
Well, it didn't.
We're not in the flex yet, are we? Are we in the flex?
No,
I thought November you could flex in November.
Yeah, they would. You got to do it 12 days out. So it's not. That's where they're going to be. That's where Al and Chris are going to be.
They're going to be in Miami to watch the Raiders.
Well, it's probably got a couple, Doral.
Yeah.
Crowd's
always good around.
Indian Creek. You
Yeah.
got
A lot of good places to go play.
So the Raiders are a 3-point favorite. I'm taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders, and I got them covering 27-20.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Miami earlier. It seems like a dysfunctional football team right now.
On, Baldy. You with us? Come on, Baldy.
The Raiders got to break out of this malaise they've been in sooner or later. Come on.
They just went to Buffalo last week, Jaws. They were awful in that game.
It was
They were
cold.
awful.
It was cold and rainy. They like sunny weather.
Exactly.
Miami's had 10 days to get ready. I'm going to take the Dolphins to. I'll take the Dolphins to cover.
All right.
I'll take them.
You got them outright?
24-23. No, I'll just take them to cover.
Okay.
All right. You got them. You want them?
Yeah, I do. Defensively, I know what happened last week against Baltimore.
Dominican Sue is just so out of control.
Is he?
Yes, he's out of control. Is he? Look at me with a straight face. How many times did he get flagged? He got flagged 3 times last week.
I like him. I want him on my team.
Yeah. Until
on my team.
Until he's not playing because of stupid penalties.
I'll take Miami in this game.
All right, you got him.
They
you
sent a
got
message.
him.
You started the show by saying
Anthony just shredded you, man.
No,
I
he-
can't believe you took that.
No, he didn't shred me. Like he's like and Dominican Sue hasn't drawn penalty flags before.
No. He's out of control again. Again, he's out of control. You watch the game Thursday night. He was out of control again.
I want to see him against Clutchy Assembly.
All right.
And Gabe Jackson.
You got him. You got the Dolphins.
Yeah.
All right.
You say you opened up the show today by saying Adam Gase is sending a message. All right, you opened the show by
Well, I
that.
don't
That's
think
how
so.
I'm shredding
well,
you.
he changed his mind in the last hour.
I didn't change my mind. That was what we wanted to do. Not say it could work. All right? That's a mess in Miami. Give me the Raiders.
Hey.
The Raiders.
All right.
All right, and finally, Monday night, the Lions 2.5 at Green Bay, Baldy.
When they put the schedule together, we me and Jaws are, we're good friends with the people that do the schedule for the league, and
Mike North and Howard Katz and all.
Yeah,
the
Howard's
guys
over there, and
breaking it down.
Howard's in
Yeah,
a dark room for a month, ripping it, whatever hair is like. It's just, you can never play. But when they put this game together, it was Matt Stafford against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And we're going to put that, John Gruden, we're going to give you a quarterback
Marquee
duel.
quarterback game.
A
That's
quarterback
right.
duel,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
You can't screw this one up. This is going to be great.
And who do you get?
You get Brent Hundley.
There you go, yeah.
I mean, that's what you're going to get here. I mean, it's just, look, Detroit's at home. They battle. One thing about Detroit.
No, it's at Green Bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Look, they battle. They battle like crazy. There was a time when Detroit went to Green Bay. Was it like 24 straight times and lost?
Yes.
Like some crazy. They broke the streak a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
I want to say Detroit, but I think Green Bay will rally coming off a bye, rally as a group right now. Get behind the quarterback. I think the running back, Aaron Jones, is really good. I'll take Green Bay to find a way to win this game.
I like that. I'll take the Packers as well.
Ooh, Detroit 27-20, lead pipe lock.
We are done. The Meatlocker.
What? We're done.
That's
we'll
it?
see you
We are
next
out.
week.
Let's have a beer.
Hey, let's
Meatlocker.
have two.
There we go.
You ready, boys?
Go over to Meatlocker.